Maxi the lifeguard in deep water. Chapter 1. Plain Sailing. It all happened in a blink of an eye. Maxi suddenly felt the incredible power of the rip dragging him out to sea, and there was nothing he could do. Don't panic, Maxi, he told himself. It was like he was being towed by an invisible speedboat. Waves crashed over him, and he swallowed a mouthful of salty water, causing him to cough and splutter. Don't panic, Maxi, don't panic. He took gulps of air whenever he could, but he was still being sucked out towards open water. His arms were tired, his eyes stung, and his lungs were ready to explode. Can't swim out of this one, he thought. Maxi could no longer see the shore, but the fast-moving current showed no sign of slowing down. He tried to scream, but another wave crashed over the top of him, muffling the sound. The sky was black. He was all alone. Above him, he heard the squawk of a distant seagull. It sounded like he was calling his name, Trent Maxwell. But it wasn't a seagull calling his name. It was his teacher, Miss Vincent. The harsh sound of a voice had woken him up. I don't know what's scarier, my nightmare or my maths class teacher, Miss Vincent, thought Maxi. So what's the answer? Maxi went red. He had absolutely no idea what Miss Vincent had been talking about. If you can't tell me, you'll be staying in after school, Miss Vincent said, folding her arms. That's the last thing Maxi needed was detention. His dad was already upset with him. Stumbled Maxi, feeling his face turn red. This tongue-tied thing happened when he was nervous and embarrassed. The idiot doesn't have a clue, said Josh Seaward under his breath. Shut up, Josh, hissed Rachel Lenker, who was sitting right behind the school bully. Everyone be quiet, and the whole... Everyone be quiet or the whole class will stay back, snapped Miss Vincent. As she turned her attention back to Maxi, I'm waiting for the answer, Trent. The answer? I don't even know the question. Just then, Felix Thorpe spun around in front of Maxi and started miming something behind Miss Vincent's back. What the heck is he doing, thought Maxi. Felix looked like he was squirting a bowl of sauce onto something that he picked up and started to eat. Pie? Guessed Maxi. Miss Vincent's mouth gaped open. Well, yes, she said. The circumference of any circle divided by its diameter is pi. Maxi mouthed thanks to Felix. He sighed and he ran his hand through his wavy blonde hair. He hated everyone looking at him. Maxi's attention drifted to the window. While most of the schools in the city were surrounded by boring concrete buildings, the students at Bondi East Primary had front row seats of the Pacific Ocean. The only downside was when the kids played ball games at lunchtime, a bad throw or kick sometimes meant a ball disappearing over the edge of the cliff, never to be seen again. Maxi looked beyond the breaking waves and out into the dark blue open water that stretched towards the horizon. He shuddered and quickly wiped away the beads of sweat that had appeared on his forehead. Maxi stayed in his bedroom after school, pretending to do his homework with his dog, Bones, curled up on the bed. Maxi gave Bones an ear scratch and smiled. He remembered the man at the pound telling him, nah, you don't want that one, he's just a bag of bones. Without hesitating, Maxi had said, Dad, can we please get him? The scruffy dog looked up with a curious expression, probably because he was surprised to see Maxi sitting at a desk. Normally, Maxi was running around the backyard or getting in trouble from his mum for watching TV. The only reason Maxi was doing his homework was to avoid his dad. He put down his pen, stretched his long arms and looked up at the poster of his hero, Mick Hawke, on the wall. Mick Hawke was a local lifeguard who had once come to school to do a talk. It was easily the most interesting thing that had ever happened at the school. There's Mick Hawke there. I wonder if I could be like Mick Hawke one day. Maxi looked at Mick's bulging biceps, then checked his own skinny arms. Maybe not. Maxi! Dinner, his mum called. Maxi took a deep breath gave Bones a rub behind the ear, and went to join his parents. He sat down at the old wooden dining table in the kitchen. His dad had built the table, along with most of the furniture in their house. Maxi's dad rarely spoke much at dinner, but Maxi knew tonight would be different. I have to keep the conversation away from that. So, Mum, how was your day? Pretty good, thanks. I just don't get it, Trent, interrupted his father. Whenever Maxi's dad called him Trent, he knew he was in trouble. You're so good at sailing. I mean, how many races have you won this season already? 7, I think. Exactly. Why would you give it all up? Well, started Maxi. 6 days ago, he had told his dad he was quitting sailing and he wanted to join the Buckler Ocean Swimming Club instead. Maxi's dad had been in a foul mood ever since. We've put a lot of time, not to mention money, into your sailing, Trent. And how do you even know if you'll like it at Buckler? His father continued. Just because Felix and Rachel are there? Give him a chance, Stan. You're not letting him speak, said Maxi's mum, passing Maxi a bowl of peas. Maxi's dad folded his arms and rolled his eyes. Fine, the floor's all yours, son. Maxi wanted to tell his dad the truth, but he was too embarrassed. The truth was, Maxi was scared. He loved the beach, he loved the big waves, but he was petrified of open water. Whenever his boat was more than a couple of 100 meters from shore, Maxi's stomach would suddenly become twisted in knots. In fact, one of the reasons he became such a good sailor was because he wanted to get back to shore as quickly as possible. Maxi didn't think his dad would understand. As far as Maxi could tell, his dad wasn't afraid of anything. Telling the truth was not an option. I just want to change, said Maxi. Well, I'm only paying for a 3-month membership. Just in case you quit Buckler too, said his dad grumpily. Silence descended upon the kitchen. Maxi felt terrible. He was ashamed about his secret fear, but he was angry at his father's stubbornness. He also felt guilty because he knew how much his dad loved sailing. Right, I think we've heard enough about the sailing for the evening, Stan. Agreed? Said Maxi's mum. Maxi's dad reluctantly nodded his head as if a switch had been flickered. Maxi's mum's frown turned into a large, huge smile. Grandpa Bill's so pleased you're joining Buckler, she said cheerfully. Maxi grinned. Grandpa Bill had been a member of the Buckler Ocean Swimming Club for over 50 years, and the locals loved him. Loved him. He often told stories that stretched the truth, but he made Maxi laugh. Yeah, he said he took... Sorry, I'll start again. Yeah, he said he'd look after me at the club, said Maxi. Then he told me about when he surfed on a dolphin all the way to the Gold Coast. Maxi's dad rolled his eyes, but with a smile on his face. His mum burst out laughing. Tomorrow will be fun, she said. And if it's not, you can always go back to sailing, said Maxi's dad. Yeah, said Maxi, staring down at his plate. Chapter 2.